and you are a little bit north of Indianapolis. I believe you're on Kessler, is that right?
Yeah, Tara, we're heading towards Kessler right now, and everywhere we've been, the roads have really been about the same. They're pretty rough, and they're getting worse. That's one of the things that we're trying to push to people, is that they aren't getting better anytime soon. So if you're out in it now and you think, boy, these are not good, that's going to be the continuing theme throughout the night. Ashley was talking earlier about the system being a little bit slower than originally anticipated. So just keep that in mind. If you have to get out, and you have time to do it right now would be the time to do it, because you need to be home as soon as possible before it gets real bad. We just followed a couple of snow plows, and they were clearing. There were two, one right behind the other, clearing the same lane, and that was helping a little bit, but it's still some of that ice that's on the road underneath the snow, still keeping it slick. We followed right behind them to see if it was helping much, and to be honest, it wasn't helping that much. So photojournalist Andrew Garrison has been handling the driving so that I can sit here and give you guys these conditions. For the most part, we've had a hard time getting traction. That's what we've noticed as well, is switching lanes or turning onto other roads, whatever it may be, having to do it very slowly because we can't get that footing in the vehicle. Also, the windshield wipers continue to be an issue as well. We've stopped and cleaned those off about 4 or 5 times now, and it just gets back to the exact same situation, so visibility continues to be an issue as well. We're getting ready to turn on to Kessler Boulevard, and you can see some of the cars ahead of us just spinning a little bit when they're in the snow. A lot of people walking as well, so if you're out walking, I would advise not doing that, because cars are having a hard time staying, the roads are slick. So again, just keep in mind, stay safe and stay off the roads if you can. For now, reporting live in the mobile news tracker, Cody Adams, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
And Cody, everything you said is the reason that every county in Indiana is now under some kind of travel advisory. 1/3 red are warnings on the Homeland Security map on your screen. In those areas, authorities want everyone to stay off the roads to keep them clear for emergency workers. Most counties are orange. That's a watch. That means only drive for essential reasons like work. Only Marion County and Allen County, Fort Wayne and Indianapolis, are yellow, the advisory level, cautioning that travel could be dangerous. News 8's Camila Fernandez has been out on the streets in Marion County. She joins us live downtown. What's it like, Camila?
Here at Monument Circle, if you take a look around me, there aren't many cars or aren't many people, and it's really been extremely cold, obviously, all day long. I'm having a tough time just even speaking with you all. And even on Meridian Street, I noticed a couple of cars, even an Indigo bus, got stuck in the snow. Thankfully, there were people around to help. Faced by dangerous road conditions, drivers fought through snow and wind, but some weren't able to make it through the snow without getting stuck. On Meridian Street, an Indigo bus struggled to get through the snow. It needed help from plow trucks and shovels to get moving again. A similar scene for this car. It spun its wheels trying to get into a parking lot. Several people came to the driver's aid, even a police officer. It's not just the main roads that are slick. The side streets haven't even been plowed yet.
If the roads aren't plowed, we're definitely in a worse situation. So if the roads are plowed, though, once all of the snow comes down, then we start having what makes it even more difficult to pull cars out when they're parked on the side of the street is then we start having ice.
Again, police are asking everyone to please stay at home if possible. Also, be sure to follow us on our social media platforms for any updates on weather and even on traffic on the roads. And also...
All right, thank you, Camilla. Well, when are those streets going to get cleaned up? Contractors will likely begin plowing neighborhood streets tomorrow morning. DPW says it will cover some 4,400 miles of smaller residential roads. So if you park along the street in your neighborhood, DPW says either hug the curb or find a spot off the street. Our team is also tracking conditions outside of Indianapolis. We'll get to Katira Winfrey in a moment. But first, let's check in with Richard Essex in Boone County near Zionsville.
Well, travel in Boone County has been rough, and that is an understatement. Getting up here this morning, 65 coming up to Boone County was slick, snow covered, very slow, both directions. Everybody just kind of creeping along. and traffic up here has been about the same way. They've had an NDOT truck that flipped over into a ditch on State Road 32 out by Western Boone School. They had then there was a jackknife semi on 65, and then I also came across a couple of semis that were having a devil of a time getting on the off-ramp just north of us here in Zionsville. Now, this morning when I was up in Lebanon, I ran into Lori Ford. She is a DoorDash delivery driver, and she was trying to get to work. She was expecting today, with so many people home, that she was going to be busy, but she ended up just fighting the snow. Do you think you're going to be busy today?
I would think that it would be because the weather's so bad, but I don't know.
Have you been out at all?
Not today.
Today? Were
No.
you out yesterday?
No. I knew I should have moved my car over to there, but everybody's always got those spaces.
The Boone County Commissioners last night issued an advisory. They closed the courthouse last night about 8:30. It's been closed today. The Boone County Commissioners have also issued an emergency, code red, starting at 5 o'clock right now until 5 o'clock tomorrow. Emergency travel only. From what we've understood, there have been a number of law enforcement officers that have been out patrolling. They've gotten stuck. I have noticed a lot of snowplows out in the area. Zionsville, Whitestown, Lebanon, all have their plows out, but it seems like they're kind of fighting an uphill battle. Just as soon as they come across the roads, the snow is blown right back across. This is not the kind of snow where it's fun to be out. This is not the kind of snow where your kids are going to want to be out building snowmen or out sledding. This is kind of a nasty night. It's a good night to stay home. Now, for a closer look at how things are happening over in Hamilton County, we go to our colleague Katira Winfrey for a look at the roads and what's happening in Hamilton County. Katira.
Hello, Richard. I know you've been covering things out in your neck of the woods. I am here in Hamilton County. We first came early this morning, and things have been really quiet here. The streets, because Carmel has about 92 snow plows and salt trucks going, the streets have been okay, although you can still see a layer packed down. And again, it's still quiet. And we were, however, able to see a few people outside. And while riding, I happened to look down the street and I saw one man who had an interesting way of clearing the snow.
In Hamilton County, you won't find a lot of action. The plows are out, and so are the dogs.
My dog would be out here 50 times a day. If she could go running wild.
He likes the snow, so he'll probably go digging in the snow.
If you live in this neighborhood around 116th in Carmel, you might see Ernie Forney. This is what he's been waiting for.
I just wait for it to snow and come out here and plow people's driveways just for the heck of it.
And it's just fun.
It's playtime.
He inherited this 70-year-old tractor from his father and brought it back to Indiana from the family farm in Pennsylvania. Instead of plowing fields, it plows snow.
Yeah, we had this as a kid, and if we didn't grow it, we didn't eat it. So we got a lot of use out of this tractor.
He also drives it to the fair every year. It only goes about 10 miles an hour, but he gets there. And while some look at this as work, he sees it as fun and a requirement.
The church I go to, we have a Good Neighbor Weekend every year, Good Neighbor Weekend, and we go out and serve the community. So this is part of my task to serve the community, but it's more fun than, it's not work. Trust me, it's a lot of fun.
And while Ernie is out there having fun, Hamilton County emergency managers want to remind you, beware of snow-covered ice. They say if you fall in or you are with someone who falls in, don't try to go out there with them. Instead, call 911 or throw out a rope or a cord. So again, if you go outside, be safe and beware. Reporting in Carmel, Katira Winfrey, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
And Katira, that ice is a big part of the power story as well. Duke Energy says nearly 1,500 workers are on the job ready to restore power to customers tonight. The storm is not causing widespread problems, but we are seeing some. Southern Indiana, Duke Energy has about 1,200 homes and businesses with no electricity, mainly confined to pockets in Evansville and Floyd County, areas that have been seeing more ice than snow. In Indianapolis, we're at 9 AES customers with no power. More than 200 National Guard soldiers are out helping stranded drivers.
Yes, they are. News 8's Garrett Burke has caught up with one of those soldiers, and he joins us now to tell us what they're seeing.
Well, the National Guard has deployed a total of about 60 teams for this storm. They're stationed at armories all over the state, and those soldiers tell me even the best vehicles have trouble in these conditions. Sergeant Benjamin Campbell got his orders around 10 a.m. Wednesday. He's been helping out drivers ever since.
So far, we have seen quite a few semis who've had slid off the road. We've reported of them sliding off the roads. We've seen quite a few cars who have slid off the roads either last night or early today.
Soldiers like Campbell are working in 4-person teams, each with 2 Humvees. He says his team alone helped out 3 drivers Thursday morning and early afternoon.
We've also helped out people who have just been walking on the roads and trying to get to where they need to go. We'll pick them up and put them in the vehicles and drive them down to the location as well.
That's harder than it sounds. Campbell says even the Humvees have trouble in these conditions.
We're using, as you can see, a lot of our up armor vehicles, and even with them being as heavy as they are, they're still getting pushed around with the wind. The snow on the roads are just unbelievable.
But he says it's just part of being in the National Guard. Campbell says he expects he'll be deployed through at least Monday. He says he's glad to help.
I tell you what, I feel very honored. I mean, that's exactly what we signed the dotted lines for. We signed up not to serve overseas, but also to serve here where we need it as well for our local Hoosiers.
And if you want to help support the troops, Campbell says the best way to help out is just not go out. Let me reiterate what he said in that story just now. Even Humvees are having a little bit of trouble getting traction in these conditions. Live in Indianapolis, Garrett Bergquist, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.